Hello friends, welcome to a new video. Flo here. Today I have another tool for your toolbox of healthcare, wellness, yoga practice, breathwork practice. And that one is the control pause or the CO2 stress test. It's something I've been using for quite a while now, and it's a fantastic tool to simply give you a indicator of your current state of your nervous system, especially if you have more of a sympathetic tonus, so more of a elevated, oftentimes even stressed, anxious state of the nervous system. The sympathetic state of the nervous system is the more active, the alert, the be ready and go kind of state. There's nothing bad with any of these, but if you always have a sympathetic tonus, it can be quite rough on your body and then eventually also on your life. There are so many things out there you can do, and a big lesson is that what feels good for you is not always the right thing for you to do. For example, me personally, I really enjoy cold exposure, ice baths, strong practices, lots of movement, but it's not really what my body needs all the time. Although this is something that feels good to me, it's not always the right thing for me to do. So the CO2 pause or the control pause is giving you an indicator where you're currently at. Because, for example, after waking up, your body should be in a pretty relaxed state, but maybe it's already in a more sympathetic tonus and has already more anxiety and stress with it. And that's because you're too busy, you're doing too much, you're training too much and you're not recovering enough. Or a big one could be that you're just breathing incorrectly. The nervous system activation and tonus is directly correlated to the breathing patterns. On the inhale, we stimulate the sympathetic nervous system, and on the exhale, the parasympathetic nervous system. And most of us breathe way too much, oftentimes even through the mouth. So it's important to first close your mouth and breathe only through the nose. And since most of us breathe too much, they say you breathe about 15 to 20 times a minute, and this is the normal. But that is normal because everyone is stressed out. So the yogis knew already for a long time that we want to slow down the breath and exhale more and breathe slower. And so we're aiming for a breath count under 10. Today you can use the simple tool to simply test where you're currently at. It's just an indicator for you to know what's the tonus of the nervous system. Maybe it gives some indication about your breath as well. But you can be certain that by practicing good breathing patterns, you can directly influence this CO2 stress test. But it takes time, so it's not something that will change overnight. So give it weeks and months. I have more videos on what to actually do, but let's just dive into the practice. So the way we're going to do this is we first sit and we breathe for 2 minutes, relaxed, normal breath, whatever is normal for you, in and out through the nose, so you can really arrive, get ready. Then after those 2 minutes, we take our last inhale in, and then you exhale normally out. So you don't push all the air out until you're fully empty. You just exhale as you normally would, so there's still some air left, and then you hold the breath. We will then hold the breath and the timer starts and is counting up. Keep the eyes open and just relax and hold your breath, but not for as long as you can. This is not a maximum breath hold test. You only hold until you feel the first signs of air hunger, the first signs of your body telling you, okay, now I should breathe. This could be a little bit of a feeling in the diaphragm, maybe somewhere in the chest, maybe in the throat. At that point, you will look at the time, remember your time, and then inhale and come back to a normal breath. So again, we're not trying to hold as long as you can. We just want to hold until the first signs of air hunger. I recommend you do this practice several times, ideally daily, in the morning after waking up. You are already in a pretty relaxed state, hopefully, and then you take the timer and do the same thing again, and then test it for like a month and write it down every day in a little journal. So let's start the breathing for 2 minutes. So sit tall, relax. I have a timer here as well on my phone, so I stay on track, and you simply breathe. Keep the eyes open, just in and out through the nose. We will do now first the test, the CO2 stress test, control pause, and then later I will talk about the results and give some pointers what to do. So we still got over a minute to go, so simply continue breathing. And so this test is giving you great insights into what you're doing. Because you might be feeling good from doing ice bath every day and hard classes, lots of training. But maybe your breathing is not very good and it's too much. And so it will show in this CO2 test. About 45 more minutes to go, 45 seconds to go. Normal breaths. And again, we're not trying to find our maximum breath hold when we hold the breath in a moment. Just until the first signs of air hunger. Now let's take your last breath in and then take a normal breath out and start to hold your breath. We start the timer now. Simply sit with eyes open, hold your breath. When you feel the first signs of air hunger that your body is telling you, oh, maybe it's nice to breathe now, then look at the time displayed on the screen and inhale and breathe normally and wait until we're all coming together again. Again, we're not trying to do our maximum hold, just until the first signs of air hunger. We have the timer going for about 10 more seconds. For the few of you that are still holding and still don't feel the air hunger, great, and that's 90 seconds. We stop the timer. Take a few deep breaths. Great job doing this test with me today. There's a lot more details if you want to look into the science behind all of it. This would just blow up the video too much. I just want to share this practice with you and this tool, but maybe in a future video we will talk more about it. But if you want to go a little bit deeper in your own study, you can look into the Buteyko method, and there you will find a lot more about this tool and also about more breath practices. So now let's talk about the results. If your time that you could hold until you feel the first air hunger is under 20 seconds, then it's on the very low end of the capacity of the breath, and it indicates quite high arousal state of your nervous system, so a very strong sympathetic tonus. So the practice for you then is to obviously increase this number, so we always want a higher CP count or CP score, and I recommend you do things that calm you down, like gentle breath work, meditation, exercise as well, in case you're not doing that yet, but also not too much, because maybe it's so low because you're just overtraining and doing way too much. Also watch your breath, of course, breathing through the nose, but slowing down basically is for you the key. If you are between 20 and 40 seconds of a hold until you felt the first signs of air hunger, then you're in the average range based on the Buteyko method, and it still means that you're in a moderate to high arousal state. There's still lots of room to improve, especially looking into the breath itself, doing specific breathing exercises, keeping the mouth closed. I will also link some more information in the description below on what to do. In general, I recommend doing more specific breath exercises that improve the CO2 tolerance. Again, I will link some more information in the description below. There's a lot of CO2 practices in yoga, or CO2 tolerance improving practices in yoga, also in free diving. The apnea training is also fantastic for that. And tools like the resonance breathing or coherent breath is also really nice. If your CP count is between 40 and 60, then this is already very advanced. And from here on, if you're already there, then your CP count, if you do the right practices, will increase even further and very quick. If your CP count is between 60 and 80 seconds, this is advanced, extremely good, and it displays some really good breath control, breath state, good breathing rhythm, and a very low arousal state of your nervous system, and is usually linked to very good motor and movement control. And if your CP score is above 80 seconds, this is basically the elite level, and it's super amazing, and you don't even need any information from me because you already know what you're doing and you're doing a really good job. Again, I cannot emphasize this enough. This is not a test to how long can you hold your breath after the exhale. It's just how long can you hold until you feel the first signs of breath hunger? Because I'm sure still some people want to be like, oh, I'm going to push this, I'm going to hold longer and really go over all these signs that my body give me of the air hunger and hold my breath longer. And then you make it to 80 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever. And yes, this is possible. This is possible for many people, but to only hold until the air hunger is not. And this is what we're looking for. We're not trying to do a maximum hold after the exhale. So now a few tips on the practice. No matter what CP score you have, always is good to meditate, to rest a bit more, to sleep a bit more. Keep moving the body, keep exercising, but only to an intensity where you can still breathe through the nose. Close your mouth when you're breathing. The mouth is not made for breathing. Although you can do it with it, it's not a very efficient way. Only the nose is the right organ for the breath, because only the nose can moisten and warm and filter and clean the air that's coming in, which the mouth cannot do. So mouth breathing is and has been linked to poor health, and nose breathing has been linked to really good health. It's okay if you have to shortly breathe through the mouth, but it should be just for a short period of time, and then you should go back to nose breathing. And yes, this also means if you're training martial arts, if you're going for a long run, if you're breathing through the mouth most of the time, then the exercise is just too intense for you, although you might not want to hear it. It's just too much, and you should get to a level where you can continue to breathe through the nose, because again, the nose is designed for breathing, the mouth is not. There are certain practices I will share in other videos about increasing your CO2 tolerance, where you actually focus on breathing less. We have a few already here on the channel: Samavriti, Anulom Vilom, Vishamavriti, and other ones where you're breathing slow, especially the ones where you're counting and inhaling for a certain amount and exhaling and holding. So just click up here for the breathwork playlist in order to access some more videos. But I will make some more specific ones to increase the CO2 tolerance. Another one you can try out, although it sounds weird, is to tape your mouth with some skin tape or medical tape when you go sleep. Many of us have an involuntary breath at night and start to open the mouth and then unknowingly breathe through the mouth. And again, coming back to the mouth not being the organ to breathe, it makes sense to tape your mouth a little bit. You don't need to tape the whole mouth, like very extreme, just a little bit of tape in the center of the mouth, just like a gentle touch, a gentle reminder to keep the lips sealed. And then usually the whole mouth stays closed throughout the night so that you breathe the whole night through the nose, and you will wake up more refreshed, feeling better. Your breathing rate a minute will go down, will decrease, and your CP score will probably go up. But know that the CP score increase takes time and practice. So this is not coming in a few days. This takes weeks. I would even say this takes months of daily practice and really taking care of your breath so that you can increase your CP score. So the goal is to get to a CP score of 40 seconds. Take a look at the description below. I put some useful links and videos to information that will help you again to interpret the results and learn what to do to improve your CP score with specific practices. This was a longer video than I had intended, but there's a lot more to talk about than I thought. I thought I'm just going to share real quick the test, but I wanted to also give you some background. So this is more of an informative video. You follow along now. You can use the channel markers below to come back to the practice and continue doing it. But this is more to give you all the information so that you can also learn something, why you're doing it, what happens in the body, why do you do this breath hold and count it, and then learn and go from there and implement it as another tool in your practice of healthcare and well-being. Thank you so much for watching and joining me today. I will see you in the next one. Much love and gratitude. Namaste.